All right, welcome, Morgan. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. I'm happy
So,
to.
so for those who are watching, this is Morgan Crew. Morgan just completed the last round of Mind Rebel Practitioner training, and she is a registered psychotherapist. And I am so excited to have you on here to talk a little bit about how you found, like coming from psychotherapy, how you found this work, and then becoming a practitioner of the methodology and how you're using it in your practice. So Morgan, talk to us about like what drew you here. How did we find each other?
Okay. So before becoming a registered psychotherapist, I was a registered nurse working in crisis mental health care. And I had not been feeling well, sort of recognizing compassion fatigue, but certainly not knowing like really what to do about it, like, getting the help that I could. And just with reaching out to someone who I was looking to guide me where I might be able to, meet, get some extra support. I was suggested to look up a wellness retreat, and I had it was so strange because I just had a look and I saw this retreat that you were putting out, and I think it was called Mind Rebel, and I was like, I hadn't heard of that. And anyway, I read through it, and something just literally told me, like, you're going to this. So again, not feeling well, but not really understanding, knew that it was coming up in a couple of months, and then and made my friend sign up with me. And so again, a couple of weeks later, I was just like crashing, like completely crashing, and just so much was going on. I don't know what it was. I messaged you and I said, like, I'm coming to the retreat, but I don't know if you do one-on-one sessions. And then you wrote back saying yes, and giving an appointment on Monday, and we'll just do it over the phone. And I was like, oh, this doesn't seem, how could this even be that helpful? But
Like, what is this thing?
I'll take anything I can get.
Yeah.
And then I had the most life-changing session. And I'm a person who works in mental health care and was about to finish schooling to be a psychotherapist. And I just couldn't believe how you saw clearly within, the first 10 minutes, like what was really happening for me, and the way you explained it and helped me like see the truth in it. Like it literally was life-changing. So then I felt like I learned so much about the truth of what was happening in that session that it carried me over to the retreat. And then it was the retreat that was absolutely like cracked wide open and left there with like a completely changed how my life was going to go in the next year. And with the strategies that I learned, it like sped everything up too. So it was absolutely fantastic.
Right, it does. So Morgan, I think what I love working with you the most, there's so many reasons I love working with you, but you were just, it was like your mind was just so ready to see another way, and your body had been speaking to you so loudly. It was almost like what we did in our work together was get back to like the basic of basics. Like,
yes,
get into your body. What's your body telling you? And you were just so willing to just do the work, dive right in. And I think because of your willingness, that's why you received such incredibly transformational results in one session.
Yes, exactly. I think so too.
Yeah. So you received all of this delicious, goodness for your own life, and then you chose to sign up for the Mind Rebel Practitioner training so that you could actually. And the Mind Rebel Practitioner training really is twofold, right? It's like become the master of this methodology in your own life so that you can use these tools and this methodology on those you love and serve. Because of course, as you know, we can't serve those, right? We can't serve unless we ourselves are full. Like, you of all people probably know that the most, coming from compassion fatigue and near burnout several times in your career. And so tell us about your experience with the practitioner training.
Okay. So I knew, like, after doing the work with you, that like the language fit, the analogies fit, they made sense, they were true. So I really wanted to be able to use them and know more about them, and not just sort of like grab them and be like, I think this is how, she says it, that kind of stuff. So it was really no question. It was just, again, strange how that was where your life was for you.
Right.
So I would have been asking for it even if you hadn't been doing that.
Right.
So I was just going to be a yes no matter what, because I needed it for myself. I knew it was going to be, one day a week that I was going to devote to learning it, but also applying it, doing the homework, digging deep, seeing the others in the group, seeing the transformations, so fortunate to be able to bear witness to so many of the others in the group. So I had to do it. And even just I have my book, I keep my book handy. I'm doing, sessions all the time because I refer to it. And when I need it, I refer to it. And this is just part of my language with my friends as well. And with clients now too.
Okay. So one thing I'd love to get your perspective on, I think coaching is it's a rapidly growing profession and vocation, but it's still very young in that people don't really, like, even you said, you were like, I don't know what a coach is. Like, when we were first introduced, you had no sweet clue what this was about. And there has been this kind of, like, what I have experienced in my own career. It's almost like therapists versus coaches, when I've always been like, no, like, therapists and coaches need to work together. And we play in very different, very traditional coaching and very traditional therapy play in different fields and at different points in people's lives, but also go together so beautifully. And so part of my personal mission is to help raise awareness of the professional coaching profession, and to partner with more and more therapists like yourself, who can, again, these two things can go hand in hand. And I'd love to get your perspective on some of those coaching tools that I taught you in the practitioner training, and how you do bring that into your work with your clients. And so I would love to get your perspective, or any kind of thoughts you have on the two worlds and how they merge.
Yes. Okay. I think they go hand in hand as well. The thing is, though, is what we're taught in school and from other therapists, is that if you're in therapy, you stay faithful to that therapist, and there's not, you're not taking, you're not seeing you don't usually see two at a time. It's not recommended. That's sort of acceptable. That's accepted in our profession. And that would be because, you're trying to have them work on, the homework or methods, like if it's, whatever methodology they're using. And that's why I never knew about it before, because I always have my own therapist. So never had a sort of a need for a coach. But then after learning how you sort of separate who's appropriate for what.
Right.
Yeah, somebody with serious mental illness or serious struggles or trauma or whatever should go to a therapist, and that's a good idea. But then when they're feeling accomplished and stable, then that's a great time to do coaching, because you're ready to go. It's all the empowerment stuff. So I just see it now completely different, and I'm so grateful because now I know so many other coaches that I know completed the program, whether it, all their different designations or what they're passionate about, I can refer them on. So to me, they go hand in hand. I have a therapist and a coach. So that's how I do
Right.
things, and that's what works for me, and that's what I would recommend too. But the way I love using Mind Rebel stuff, like in my own therapy with clients, is first of all, I'm listening. I'm hearing where they're at in their life and what they're talking about. And if they're, if it's something that is boundary, we're needing to talk about boundaries, well, I will definitely use Mind Rebel boundary,
Right.
technique,
The tools.
the
Yeah.
analogy, the bubble, the stabbing.
Right.
Like,
Stabbing the bubble.
yes. And like I'll bring up the book and I'll show the picture and I'll be like, look at this, because it's handy, it's straightforward, it's right there. Because when I look back at like, how did I learn to teach boundaries? Like nobody wants to hear that word. It just doesn't sound good. But the way I know it's presented in Mind Rebel is like really, it's light, but it's like really true. So things like that, because that's everybody in a therapeutic relationship. Like we're gonna have to talk about boundaries. So that's just gonna be one part of it. Like the wheel of life, like things like that worksheet is just like something I grab if things aren't really progressing, or if we're really kind of stuck, or if we're just ready to move on to a different topic. Well, what better way than to take a clear, easy 2-minute itinerary of like where you're at in the different realms of your life.
Yeah.
And clients really like it, like to see it in black and white, how their satisfaction level in different avenues of their life. It's super clear. Some clients that really can't do that forward dreaming and that forward beyond, we could do like the best day, brainstorming. Like, and that's, I think, like what I remember most about like the moment I realized, oh my God, I've been living like what I think I should be doing, and what like I just remember sitting on that couch at that retreat, and you're like, no, Morgan, like, what's your desire? Like dream it. And I was just like, I don't know.
Like, what?
I didn't even want to say it. Like, I didn't even want to say it. And then I said it, and it was just like, and look at how things have changed. So that's why it's so.
Right. Look, and that was almost a year ago, because that was last June.
Yes.
Right. And look how friggin' like fast things have shifted and changed and come to fruition for you.
And that was you. That were these worksheets. Like that was, now we're gonna look at the emotions spectrum, where you are. Right. We're gonna talk about being aligned.
Right.
Didn't ever even like, I didn't ever even do that. I didn't do that for myself. And I would sort of talk vaguely about it for clients, but like if I'm not doing it for myself, or if I'm not understanding it for myself, then how can I really convey it?
Yeah.
So anyway, I use so much of it, and the hero's journey, and the whole point of our Mind Rebel persona, like it's just, there's so much to it. It goes together with so many methodologies, because it's getting at your limiting beliefs, but it's getting at them at a way that is not monotonous and like, oh, we're going to have 10 years of therapy to figure this out. We're just going to have an honest conversation right now, and you're going to take a look.
We're just going to figure it out. We're going to shine a big spotlight on it. So Morgan, from your perspective, how does the Mind Rebel method, or let me just rephrase that. From your perspective, does the Mind Rebel method marry well with other therapeutic models that you use?
Yes, it does. It does.
Yeah.
So, well, I think I asked you that even before. I was just like, did you take cognitive behavior therapy? And you're like, no. I'm like, oh my God. So that's CBT is a really popular framework that a lot of therapists use. It is not the one that I predominantly use, but it's very well received. And this work matches it in so many ways. So for anybody that wonders, is it similar to evidence-based? Yes, very similar to cognitive behavior therapy. There's a lot of similarities there. But again, like I've said before, like I prefer practice-based evidence. I prefer that, because that's showing me in my clients what's helping you, and I'm going to do more of that because it's probably going to help others. So like I totally respect like research, and I'm all about it, But for me, it feels right to do things that I see help people, that I see people remembering. Like I might give if I give some homework to a client, it's just not like speaking to them, they're not going to do it.
Right.
So if I can bring it to them in a little bit of a different way that is super appealing and easily
digestible and understandable.
Yes. Then of course I'm going to use that. So so to me it's like I would like to still be doing practitioner training, do it over and over again because it's awesome. But no, I use it all the time and use it every day and use it with myself. It's like it's my go-to wellness, maintenance, like all of it is. So
I love this.
Very passionate about it.
So Morgan, okay, anyone watching this who perhaps is like psychotherapist or is someone in the like deeply helping profession who's on the fence about joining the practitioner training, any words of wisdom or any words of advice that you would give them?
Well, I think like I'm partial to nurses because I am one and I know what you go through and you are amazing people, but we're not taught enough about the mind-body connection and how to stay full and how to stay healthy. Like I mean it's just we just aren't. We're taught to do for others so this like if any I mean it would complement so much of of caring for others and it's also quick. It's not like it's not like you have to it's going to take an hour for me to explain this concept. It's these are quick things that you can be using in interactions with clients, little pep talks, little analogies. So and for therapists too, this is just a way of developing your therapeutic bond with clients more. That's how I see. People like it, seem to like it when I'm talking about these sort of simple little tricks and these fun, frameworks and, the journaling framework. Like people love that. It's quick, it's easy. I send a little example. So it's really practical. Clients really like it. And for yourself, these are extremely memorable practices that you will be guided to continue using, and the people that you're going to learn it with are amazing people.
Right. Yeah. And you create this like sisterhood and this network, and this commonality, this common language, and this almost common place where we all grow from.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is like, and I know, Taryn, you're training people, but people need to learn, like they do need to learn from you and see you in action, because no matter how many times, I've had a coaching session or we've done the mastermind, all of that, and we did the practitioner training. Like it's still, like I still learn so much from watching you with others, especially your listening skills and your authentic listening, like literally like right in there. We learn that stuff, but seeing it in action and seeing your patience in just allowing it to go and your powerful questions. Like, anyway, I want to give you that prop because I've been in school for a long time and I've paid the money and I've done the courses, but watching you in action and seeing how you pick up on things and what it is you do and how you shift it for clients is absolutely the top professional status. And that's true. That's true.
Morgan, that's so kind of you to say.
I want to be like, I want to have more of that.
I appreciate that. I really do. I received that. Thank you. Yeah. Morgan, it's been such a honor.
Yes, it's fun.
Over the last year, just working with you and seeing your unfoldment, and then, seeing how you're impacting the lives of your clients in your like alignment and your power. And I just can't, I know it's not the end for us. Like I know it's just going to continue to evolve and to grow, and we're going to remain connected into each other's lives. But I just want to thank you so much for jumping on here with me and giving your perspective on the program.
Yes, well, no, my pleasure. No, I'm happy to just explain how much it's helped me, and and it helped, and I'm going to continue using it and keep promoting others to into your program, for sure.
Thank you, Morgan.
Okay, thank you, Taryn.